What's up, Gaming Outsiders? On episode 392, CB, Alyssa, and I discuss games that aren't quite so difficult, along with some suggestions from the community. In news, Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced, and the first two Max Payne games are getting remakes. You'll also hear our impressions of LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, and Alyssa played the adorable Cat Cafe manager. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 392 of The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community. It's Monday, April 11th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, man?
Hello, friend.
And Alyssa White. Alyssa, what's up?
Not much. What's up with you?
Doing lots. I'm very, very busy. I'm at the final stretch of the school year, and things are getting busy. I'm very looking forward to summer. If you haven't noticed, Zach is not here with us this week. He started a new job, and unfortunately his hours do not allow him to record in the evenings with us. So we're going to have to figure something out in the near future to be able to get him on because I miss him already. But let's go ahead and jump into the games we've been catching up on. CB, you've been gone a while. What have you been playing around with?
I done beat the Elden Ring.
Yeah, how's that feel?
Woo!
It felt really good, and then I wanted more.
So you're going to go back in like Dark Souls or Bloodborne?
No, well, right now I'm actually just cleaning up some of the optional bosses, and then I'm going to start New Game Plus.
Nice.
But I finally beat like one of the hardest bosses in the game because it has two phases.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, man. I never thought I would love this much punishment. Like, I'm still utterly blown away at how much I love this game.
What's crazy is like you've got a whole cornucopia of a genre that you've never dove into before, that you've never dived into. I don't know how to say that. So you can go back to all those other ones, or even try, you're now open to Soulsborne type games.
I know, and it's mind blowing that I've put it off this long, and like now I'm like, yeah, like this is a thing. I like this.
So when you
Give
do
me
new
the
game,
pain.
when you do New Game Plus, does that mean you have to play the same character, or do you start over?
Well, you can respec your character.
Oh, okay. You're gonna kind of go through with a different build to see what it's like, or
I kind of want to change my build some, but I mean, I've farmed up like all the legendary weapons, spells, and all that, which for the most part, I believe carries over.
Gotcha.
So, and because I did the entire first run through as melee only,
Ew.
now I can be like, all right, let's play the caster game now.
Yeah. Well, apparently that's the easier route to take, I've heard.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious. Like, I've seen already videos of like people that have like maxed out the level system, like 99, like level 99 for everything.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a lot.
Didn't somebody just recently like complete a run through the game like in under 13 minutes or something?
So there's a new record today that is sub 8 minutes.
Oh my God.
Oh.
But here's the thing though, like they're using mods, they're using warps.
Oh, okay. Well, that
so I'm
count.
like, it's not you only fight like 2 bosses.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is it really in the spirit of the game?
No, it's just trying to break the game to make it enjoyable. But I don't know, man. I really liked what I played of it, and people keep bugging me to get back into it and try it again. I played it that first week, and it's not that I don't want to. I am still really scared of the game, but I have so many other things I need to play, and I want to play.
Oh, I know. I still need to dive back into Dying Light 2.
Yeah, that's another one. So, but glad you got that one under your belt, man. I'm a little jealous that you can say you beat that one because how far are you from getting the full 1,000?
So the only achievements that I have left are the different endings. Which now that I'm like beefy,
OP. Yeah,
I can run through it probably quicker. Especially like I went through and I played through like almost fighting all the bosses. Like once you know like the 13th, because technically you can go straight to the final boss after you beat two bosses. So like now that I can do that, I can just be like, kill those 2, do the side quest line to make it so I can get that ending and go.
Gotcha. You gonna do it?
But I kind of want to, but again, time. Like now,
right.
I have other games. I haven't even still finished Far Cry 6, man. Like,
Dude,
I have.
I feel guilty about that one. I bought that one on day one.
So did I. And I'm a hefty chunk into it.
I wasn't. And
So-
I love Far Cry, but I just got distracted. I
even
hated
started
it.
it.
Yeah. As for me, I hopped online with my my usual crew. It was Joel and Christina, and Christina's boyfriend actually popped in as well. CJ wasn't available, and we were trying to find something to play, so we all downloaded Back for Blood, which it's the Left 4 Dead team that basically made another Left 4 Dead game. I don't like this game, guys. I really don't. I just
did you
have
like the
draw.
original? Did you like the original Left 4 Dead?
I did. I had fun going through it. I like the simplicity of it. You know what I mean? Like there was no gear and stuff like that. It was just, you just had your simple weapons, and there was no. This just is more complicated for me, which is funny because I like games like Borderlands where there's all kinds of loot that I'm having to swap out. I like it there, but I don't know. There's nothing driving me forward, and it plays so much more like an arcade game where you have so many lives, and if you get through the level with lives left, you're good. But if you die, then you start the entire act from the beginning. And I just don't feel a pull to do it. I don't know. I'm not invested in the story. I don't really care. It just feels like a mindless zombie shooter that is trying to do this extra stuff that I'm just not interested in doing. But
I want to see your group play Deep Rock Galactic.
We did play. That was actually one of the early ones we did. They like it more than me. I don't know. There's something. I feel kind of the same with that one, where I feel like there's nothing pulling me. I don't know. Like there's no drive. There's no. I don't care. You know what I mean? Which again is weird because I like the Borderlands formula. I mean, there's barely a story in that, but I'm driven by the loot and the experience and all that. Just feels really good. So with that said, we've all decided we're gonna dive into Borderlands 3 this weekend, which is a game I bought on day one, played for 45 minutes with you, I think.
Yep.
And then promptly never touched it again, and I've really wanted to get back into it. We really want to play Tiny Tina's Wonderland, the new one that comes out, but Christina is not allowed to play it with us because she has to play it with her boyfriend. So, she promised him that she would play that with him. So maybe we'll run through that one after she's played it with him and after we get through Borderlands. But I'm looking forward to. I just like the Borderlands formula because it's such a great game to play with a group because nobody cares about the story. So you could just sit and talk and blow stuff up and just see what crazy weapons you get. That's what I really liked about it. So. Yeah. Back for Blood, not necessarily for me, but again, just not for me. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. Couple new trailers that came out this week. We the surprise announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, and also the official trailer for Rogue Legacy 2, which is leaving early access this month. And coming to consoles, by the way. Very excited about that. Also, Mario Golf from the Nintendo 64 will be available on Nintendo Switch Online on the 15th. So about the time you hear this episode, you can go download that one. And Max Payne and its sequel are getting a reboot. We just found out about that. And lastly, Nobody Saves the World, a game that I talked about, is coming to PlayStation and Switch. Let's see, CB, you've been gone the longest. Which story would you like to talk about?
Max Payne.
Now, did you play them?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, cool.
And
I haven't either, so.
And over the past few years, I've become a Remedy fan. So the fact
Me
that
too.
these are getting like a remake, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Because they're also combining 1 and 2 into one game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, they're like, and I like the Northlight engine, so
yeah, it's going to be on the Northlight engine. I'm. What's crazy is that I just on a whim picked up Max Payne 1 and Max Payne 2 from the original Xbox on Xbox last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
just to hey, we should do a break the seal on that, and that timed out just about perfectly. So
yeah.
You should hop on that there too, CB, and join that episode.
I'm gonna try.
They're only about 8 hours. They're very PS2 original Xbox era gameplay style, but the art style and the storytelling is really, really cool. It's like that noir, you know those old detective style TV shows where it's like,
yeah,
you just kind of hear, like, you just imagine like a smoky detective agency, and like this dame walked in, and whatever whatever language
I love the style.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's more modern. So it's not like old timey detective era. It's more modern cop type stuff.
So it's just Sin City.
Yeah, not quite as dark, but yeah, visually, and the story is told like in comic book style fashion. So it's there's no animations. It's just kind of like still frames with the text over, but then all the characters are voiced. It's pretty good. But yeah, I'm excited that that's coming.
I'm actually really excited to see how they tie it in with the other games, because now that they've been doing everything, like a
since multiverse
Remedy
kind of
has
thing.
Built their own little Alan Wake verse, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's going to be a connection between Max Payne and those games as well,
or even bring in like Jesse.
Yeah,
like bring in Jesse or the main character from Quantum Break.
There you go.
Oh, I don't remember their name.
But like I'm really that's Remedy, dude.
I didn't remember that was Remedy. Holy cow.
Yeah, like that was actually my first Remedy game was Quantum Break. And I was like,
that was a good dive into that. That game got a bad rap. I really liked that.
It really did. It came out at the wrong time. It was super ambitious. But like Quantum Break, I was like, I love this game. And Zach was like, well, if you like that, then you should check out this. And I played that's when I started playing Alan Wake the first time, but I kind of got lost on that one and then dove into, oh god, what was the other one? There was like some other, and then Control hit me like a ton of bricks.
That game was really good. That's one I wish I could play for the first time again.
I know.
That was a good one. Alyssa, what story here intrigues you?
I'd say the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, which, to be fair, I haven't played 3, so I have no idea what the story is. I don't think anyone actually knows what the story is.
Nobody does, let's be honest.
It is exciting that they're making a 4, which who knows when we'll see this game.
Yeah.
But and also another one called Missing Link.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about that personally, but it's cool that they announced 2 different games.
I thought it was crazy that they announced this at like 4 a.m. our time on Sunday.
I'm assuming they announced at the same time they did in Japan. And Japan, I believe, is 15 hours difference. Right,
which makes sense. But on Sunday?
Well, it would have been, what, Monday for them?
No, it was 4 a.m. here. So
Wait.
Oh, so it would have been...
It'd still be Sunday, yeah.
It would have been like 6 in the afternoon or something.
Well, you also have to remember, Christianity isn't a very big religion over there.
No, I'm not saying it's just like on a weekend. It's still a weekend. I don't mean like, how dare they announce this game on the Lord's Day? That's not what I'm saying.
I do believe a lot of people in Japan work on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, is it?
Well.
Okay.
Yeah.
They work every day of the week.
It's a different mentality. Well, we don't work on the weekend here because of religious implications.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. That's me not being familiar or being ignorant to other cultures, as per usual.
I'll be honest, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah.
None of them. But I saw a snippet in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer that gets me a little excited.
What's that?
Endor. Yeah.
Like, I hear Endor and I think Star Wars, so I don't know.
You're not wrong.
Wait
Disney
a minute.
Owns Star Wars.
Disney owns Star Wars, bro.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
Like, somebody screen grabbed as like a quick pan shot, and you can see what looks to be the foot of an Imperial walker in a forested area.
Okay. All right.
So they're like, it's either got to be Endor or it's got to be the planet from the Mandalorian series.
Oh, yeah. Or or the one from Rogue One.
Kashyyyk.
No, not Kashyyyk. Well, the one, was it Kashyyyk? That whole like...
Well, there was Kashyyyk. Well, because I'm thinking of like forested planets. You have Kashyyyk, the one from, I can't remember the name of it, but from the Mandalorian, Endor, and then the one from Rogue One. But the one from Rogue One, it was like palm trees and stuff.
Right, that's true. Not really forested. Man, I love Rogue One. That movie gets better each time I see it.
Yeah,
it
is a return to form for Star Wars.
Yeah, I really dug it. Well, we're gonna have a lot of Star Wars talk here in a little bit for sure. I don't know what it is about the Kingdom Hearts series. I tried the original back in the PS2 days, and I did not get very far. I just wasn't a fan of the combat, which is funny because after playing Final Fantasy 15, the combat feels very similar to that, and I love Final Fantasy 15. So go figure. I don't get that. And
time
then
to get
just
an HD remaster of it, Scott.
Yeah, right. And then just like how crazy the story went, and then like the weird titling, something divided by 2, and I just don't understand. And I've tried to watch the like recap videos of those of like the story of that, and I got 5 minutes in, and I'm like, I'm already lost. Like I just don't understand this at all.
I've seen a couple where somebody tries to like recap the story and they get lost in their own video.
Yeah.
Like it's too complicated.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm very happy for fans of Kingdom Hearts. I've seen people that I know play very little games, and we're very excited about this. So I'm happy that everybody is. But I played 3 for a bit, and I just thought it was okay. I feel like the draw is the Disney tie-ins with everything, and it is fun going through some of those worlds, and it's cute, which is crazy because I like cute. I like whimsical. I don't know why that series just does not strike a chord with me. It's a personal thing. Boy, I'm just super negative this week, aren't I?
You are. So I'm going to dump on everything.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I'm not going to dump on is Rogue Legacy 2, which I have actually avoided looking at any gameplay because this game's been in early access for a while, and I didn't look at it because I had heard bad things about people playing it in early access, and I know I'm going to play it. There's no way, even with the bad reviews, that I'm not going to pick it up. So I'm really stoked about it. It looks like a natural evolution of the series, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I just hope it's not as grindy as everybody is saying, and that's what I think it's coming out this month. So
yeah, I think it's towards the end of the month.
Mm-hmm. Very, very excited about that. So Rogue Legacy 2 and Mario Golf N64. That is one of the early golf games that I really, really got into. I see that box art. Have you played it? Have either of you played Mario Golf? Like I see that box art and I hear Waluigi going Camelot when you like start the game because that's the developer. And it's very easy to get into, but it's got the RPG elements, not quite as much as the Game Boy Advance version of Mario Golf. But I will be playing that one on my Switch for sure.
I still like Golf Story better.
Golf Story is so good. Oh man,
it really is.
I bought that so I could go back and play it again. That's a great game.
They need a Golf Story 2.
They do need a Golf Story 2. I would play that like crazy. So, news is a little light. I will say, if you have not played Nobody Saves the World because you don't have an Xbox or PC, that's coming to PlayStation and Switch. You need to play that game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was really close to the end and I didn't finish it. And I feel guilty about that because I just got to... it's so easy to get distracted, guys, with all these games coming out. I think I blame Elden Ring because I set it aside to try that game. And never finished it. But let's go ahead and move on. And before we get to the newer games that we've been playing, let's remind everybody about our Patreon. Patreon is a place where you can help fund the Gaming Outsider if you'd like the show and want to help keep the dream alive, as it were. You can sign up at patreon.com/thegocast. We really would appreciate it. And we get some bonus episodes for you. At the $3 tier, you get 1 bonus episode. $5 tier, you get 2 bonus episodes. We've got lots out right now and lots coming in the way. So, CB, what can everybody listen to right now and in the future?
Well, our Retro Outsider look at Star Fox Dinosaur Planet.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually still want to go back and finish that game, by the way.
I kind of do too. It was getting really interesting.
Yeah. Our spoiler cast of the Uncharted movie, which I was actually going to finally sit down and watch it because I need to see it.
It's good. You still haven't played the games though, right?
Nope, still haven't touched them.
It'll be cool to hear your thoughts on it after never having played the games. Just to watch it as a movie.
Yeah, so that we'll discuss that later.
Mm-hmm.
Desert Island Games with Mark Szymanski.
Mm-hmm.
So that I need to sit down and listen to that. That should be interesting.
Mark's a good guy. A lot of fun to talk to. He had a very eclectic list of games. It was interesting.
Yeah. As far as upcoming stuff, break the seal on Max Payne 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to dive into those. And Desert Island Games with YouTuber Snug Boy.
Hilarious. That I laughed so hard on that episode. I can't wait till we release that one. So, but yeah, if you'd like to check those out and all of our past content, I say this a lot, but if you subscribe today, you get access to everything in the back catalog. All our Break the Seal episodes, all our Retro Outsider episodes, Legacy episodes, games that aren't for us, where CB sits down and makes me play these awful games from his collection.
Speaking of which, it's time to do another one of those.
We do need to do another one of those. Maybe bring on a community member and force them to play a game as well, too. So, patreon.com/thegocast. Let's go ahead now and jump into the new games we've been playing. All right, Zach isn't here. He usually reads off these list of games for us, but I will go ahead and read them this week in his absence. First off, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is getting a Switch port coming on April 12th. He highly recommends that game. Just mentioned it a second ago, but Nobody Saves the World on April 14th on PS5 and PS4. Cat Cafe Manager on Switch and PC. You'll hear Alyssa talk about that shortly on April 14th. Road 96 coming to PS5, PS4, Series X and S, and Xbox One on April 14th. Run, The World in Between. That looks like a straight-up Super Meat Boy clone, and I am all for it. Coming to Switch and PC on April 14th. Crime Site, an interesting little detective-type game on PC, April 14th. Tormented Souls, a Resident Evil. I don't like to use the word knockoff, but it feels very much in the vein of Resident Evil and.
I'd say an homage because I did review this game for the site.
Oh, okay. And that's coming to Switch on April 14th. Battle Kid Fortress of Peril on Xbox. I don't know if you've seen this trailer, CB, but it looks like Wish.com Mega Man. Game. You own the game?
It's an NES game.
Oh, I didn't know you... Wait, it's like an actual licensed NES game?
No, it's an unlicensed NES game homebrew. It was one of the first homebrews.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I mean, so you're familiar with it. Is this an apt description? Wish.com Mega Man.
It's actually really good.
It looks good, but it's
budgetary because this was like early homebrew development. But it plays great.
Yeah, I may need to check that one out. That comes April 14th to Xbox. Sally Face. I don't even know how to describe what this game is. It looks very weird. April 15th on Xbox, and then Wild West Crops on Switch coming April 15th. Any of these you guys plan on picking up? Alyssa, let's start with you.
If I weren't already playing Cat Cafe Manager, that would be one.
All right.
And I also have already played Tormented Souls, which I do recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic game. But I'm not planning on picking anything up out of that list.
Planned backlog this week, huh?
That is true.
CB, how about you?
Battle Kid.
Yeah, I think I may have to play that one too.
Battle Kid, just because I'm like, I can get achievements for Battle Kid now.
There you go. There you go. I will say 13 Sentinels it piques my interest. I'm secretly hoping for an Xbox port someday. I'm not hopeful, but whatever that game is, Zach has kind of sold me on it just on the story alone, so I'm intrigued.
Nice.
There are your releases for the week.
So, Scott and CB, you have both been playing Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it? It looks like it's a completely different take on the Lego formula. You've got all 9 Star Wars films in one game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen footage where it's got over-the-shoulder camera. You have combat now. Does it feel fresh and different, or does it still feel like a Lego game?
It feels fresh. It's fun. I mean, we'll get into my grievances with it here in a bit, but man, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
I am absolutely in love with Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. This has put such a smile on my face in ways that I was not expecting. I've played the Lego Star Wars games in the past, which did have combat, by the way. This does too, but they're all fresh. It's not like you're rehashing those original 6 films. They're built from the ground up, and what they've added voice actors in it. Whereas in the past, I think with Episode 7, there was a Lego Star Wars for The Force Awakens where they actually used audio from the original film. So you were actually hearing the dialogue, the exact dialogue from the actors. This is all voice actors that are portraying Luke and Leia and Han and Obi-Wan and all that, Anakin. But they add such a twist of humor that is just so charming and whimsical. It's made me laugh out loud on multiple occasions. Like, can I give you one example, or is that considered a spoiler?
I say go ahead.
Oh, because I have an example that's you're gonna like.
Okay, well, where did you start? Let me ask you this: did you start chronologically or release order?
Release order. I will always play release order.
Yeah, I did chronologically. So I started with Episode 1, and in Episode 1, when you get to fight Darth Maul and they're playing Duel of the Fates in the background, which it's all the original score. So it's all the music and sound effects from the films are exactly the way they were. But you're chasing down Darth Maul and they're playing Duel of the Fates, which is like this iconic song. And then off in the distance, you just see a platform of the battle droids from the prequel trilogy that are all playing like orchestral instruments. Like they're playing Duel of the Fates. It's just this tiny little thing, but it made me laugh so hard. Just like there's this super serious battle going on, and there's these battle droids just kind of dance around playing these instruments.
It would have been such an amazing nod if like they had like a little Lego John Williams in front of them.
Aww,
that would have been great. Yeah. That would have been good. So that is great. The attention to detail on these Lego figures and their weapons and everything is astounding. I never in a million years thought that I would turn on a Lego game and be prompted to adjust my HDR settings. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. Why would I this game can't look that good? It looks that good, guys. There's a moment where Leia points her pistol at somebody, which is just like it looks just like the little plastic pistols that they have in the toys. And you can actually see the little seam, the little crack where it was molded, and they all have texture to it. Like you could actually you imagine what it feels like if you were holding that quote unquote toy. It's amazing. It's great.
I actually love the fact that later on you will notice like when you're on Tatooine, like they'll have like dirt and sand on them.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Like things like that, or like little scuff marks on them that looks like these are it feels like the Lego movie Star Wars pieces where like you can actually see like the thumbprint on them and things like that.
And just utterly fun. It's very, very simple. Like there's hardly any penalty for dying. You lose some studs and then you just pick them right back up. I will say the bosses feel like very repetitive. They feel very samey. You kind of do the same thing, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It's
so since you're speaking of bosses, like how they have their little title cards. How well do you know Arabesh?
I don't
know
Star
Wars
that is.
Like the Star Wars alphabet, like the language that you see everywhere.
Not at all.
Yeah, same here.
Screenshot some of those. Screenshot some of those title cards and translate the Arabish.
Did you do this?
Yes.
Nerd alert.
Shut up. You will enjoy every bit. Because somebody turned me on to it. Like they screenshotted a Kylo Ren one. And the Arabish translates into serious daddy issues.
So it reminds me of the title cards from like Borderlands. Something three toes, and it says he also has 3 balls or something. Like it's like just little subheadings. It's great. I like there are some very significant changes in the formula too. You've got, I don't know if I want to call it a skill tree, but you've got different
a skill tree.
Yeah. You've got different classes, like you've got heroes and rogues and Jedi and empires
Sith.
and Sith and scavengers, and each one has like these weird little abilities, which you'll need to unlock certain puzzles and things in free play mode. Which, you know, we'll get to like my one nit with this game. I'll get to in a bit, but it's really interesting. Or is it Scoundrel? Is it Scoundrel?
I think it's Scoundrel
that Han is. Like, he has this, scoundrels have this deal where you come across a puzzle and he kind of surveys it and looks around and looks at all these different weak points and then automatically fires a blast at all 4 or 5 weak points to make something happen. That's kind of fun. But then each one has its own skill tree, but they're very small. Like, they've got 4 things you can level up with each of them.
Yeah. Well, there's the core ones, and then there's the like actual like sub ones.
Right. And then what also feels vastly different to me is the collecting of the Lego studs, which to me was always a try to get them all in the level kind of thing, and that's all they did. Now you're actually using those to purchase these upgrades or purchase, you find these cards that are very, very well hidden that will do things like give you stud multipliers or unlock mumble modes so you can make the characters actually just do the mumble stuff that they used to do in the old school Star Wars Lego games. Which is a lot of fun. There is just a ton of stuff to do, but what's nice is each episode is just about 1.5 hours, 2 hours long. You know, so it really feels like you're going through the movie, and you know the story. We've all seen the Star Wars movies, so it's not like there's any revelations, but it's just fun seeing just great little things. Even the very first achievement that you get is super clever. The first time you get 17,000 studs, it unlocks an achievement that says,
you got yourself a pilot.
You got yourself a pilot or something like that. Yeah. You guys got which I thought was just so clever, because that's how he's like, 17, huh? I was, like, if you've watched that movie 100 times like I have, you know how much it costs to hire Han and Chewie to take him. I don't know. Just stuff like that is really clever.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of like really cute and clever things. Like, I actually love walking around the environments, especially Tatooine.
Mm-hmm.
Just like looking around, but when you first get to Mos Eisley, you can turn, and so when you look the one direction, it looks like before they did the like special edition like digital updates back in the 90s, but then when you turn and look the other direction, it's got like the additional characters put in the exact same way.
That's interesting.
So wow. I was just like,
I didn't even catch that.
Like, I looked, I'm like, this looks kind of interesting, because they have the one tall spire with like the dewback and the other creature, and I'm like, this is really cool. Or just walking around and you notice like Lego minifigs of side characters walking in the exact same pattern as in the movie.
The attention to detail is staggering. But even just some of the little dialogue stuff, like in A New Hope, you're on the Death Star and you can overhear some of the stormtroopers like talking to each other, and one goes, "I can't believe those were the droids we were looking for." I'm so embarrassed. Like, it's just stuff like that just makes me chuckle and laugh out loud. I absolutely love it. Oh, and the flying. You get to, fly the X-Wings and the Millennium Falcon and all these, they just feel so good. I just really like it, but it's not like a hardcore flight sim game either.
I love the comic relief, though. Did you find the hot tub stormtroopers?
Yes, I found multiple of those. I think it was on the Death Star, wasn't it? Like you're looking for Vader. No, that was an Empire.
It was in A New Hope when you're playing as R2-D2 trying to get off the Tantive 4.
Yeah.
There's that, and then there's the one stormtrooper walking around with the headset listening to the Mos Eisley Cantina band song.
That's like everybody's ringtone. Or did you finish A New Hope?
Not yet.
Okay, so like Darth Vader is like, when he makes his entrance in the trench run and stuff, he's like going through a playlist on his stereo in his TIE fighter, like trying to find the right song He's like, the Mos Eisley Cantina song and this song, and then he finally lands on the Imperial March, and he just starts like head bobbing, like, yeah, this is it, and then he grabs the control. Like, it's just so freaking cute. I absolutely love it. I've missed a game that made me smile for its whimsy, and I'm really digging this game.
Yeah.
I was the one thing that bugged me is like the way Zach talked about it. I got the impression it was very much like a No Man's Sky where you could actually like just go from orbit and fly directly to the planet. It doesn't work quite like I was expecting. You
free
still
play
press
mode.
if free play mode let you do it?
I'm willing to bet that's going to be free play mode, because how else would you be able to bounce between all these things?
Because I just like the idea of entering the atmosphere and then just landing or something like that. That just sounds super fun to me.
I do have a couple gripes with this game.
Go ahead.
I hate the camera.
You hate the camera? Really?
So when you're in ships and everything, like running down tight hallways, the camera to me just seems too close.
Yeah, I guess especially if you do iron sights, or even if you try to shoot from the hip, it still kind of like zooms in like right behind them almost too much. Yeah, I could see that.
I take issue with that. Small problem. Bigger problem to me is this doesn't feel like an old Lego game.
Well, it's not trying to.
But here's the thing, like, you look at the background, they're not Legos.
What's not Legos?
Like the environment. In every other game, it's always been like a Legoed environment. This is like they took screen grabs and just put a few Lego pieces here and there.
Huh. I don't know if I noticed that. I kind of thought everything that I was interacting with was Legos.
Oh, dude, that's like the first thing I noticed. I'm like, why does this look so weird?
I mean, even like water and stuff is made of Lego, little Lego pegs or whatever.
Well, like I was walking around like Beggar's Canyon, and I'm like, the walls look like rocks, like just like rocks. Like these don't look like Lego pieces. Which I
didn't have a problem with that.
It's a weird gripe to have, but I'm sitting here like thinking, I'm like, it's a Lego game. Like I thought everything was going to be Legos, and I'm like, only select bits are Legos.
Yeah, that's an interesting gripe. I wasn't bothered by that at all. Which is interesting that you are bothered by the fact that it's not like the original Lego games, and I feel like the biggest issue I have is that it is too similar to Lego games in that I hate walking into a level and finding all this stuff and discovering all this stuff that I can't do yet because I'm not in free play mode. You know what I mean? I'm like handicapped and I can't do this stuff. And I understand that's like what these games are for. They're designed for replayability.
They are literally designed for replayability. So
you're not going to be able to like 100% a level your first time through, no matter how much you scour. So like the first time in episode 1, like the opening hangar, I literally broke apart everything. Just there was nothing left to destroy, and I did that for almost the entire first episode, and then kept finding all this stuff that I couldn't do anything because I didn't have the right droid or I didn't have the right rogue class or anything like that. So after I finished that first episode, I decided I was just going to mainline and get through the story to unlock free play mode to go back and clean up stuff because I really want to go solve some of those puzzles. But I don't like that. I wish that they would. It's not like we're ruining the story to Star Wars, right? Like everybody knows the stories to Star Wars.
Yeah.
You'd be hard pressed.
You'd be hard pressed, but there are still some. I mean, keep in mind this game is geared towards kids.
That's true. That's true.
So it's a very.
I don't know.
It's a good way to introduce kids to it, but for older people like us who are so ingrained in the Star Wars universe,
right?
Like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Like, I see all these little side missions, and I'm like, nope, beeline it through because I've played Lego games before. I can come back and do that after I finish, and I've unlocked free play for everything.
And because that's the mentality I took.
Build your group,
right? And that's where I took that mentality after going through the first episode and scouring everything. I'm like, I'm just going to go through the story because I want to go. It feels like the real meat and potatoes of the game is to go through and do stuff in free play mode. I just, this game has a password feature to unlock stuff. Why not give me a passcode that gives me free play mode right off the bat so I can just go have fun and explore the way I want to. That's my only real problem I have with the game. And it's a personal whiny complaint, probably more than anything. But with that said, I'm through episodes 1 through 6. I've only got the latest trilogy left.
Well, I mean that's both of us. Like the only complaints we have about this game are little whiny complaints because it's so well crafted.
I cannot recommend this game enough. Like if you have a kid that isn't very good at video games, it doesn't matter. Just give him a controller and play along with him or her. It's outstanding. It just makes me smile so much. I'm looking forward to going back. I don't normally replay games, right? Because I don't have the time. But I'm really looking forward to going back in free play mode because some of the puzzles are really interesting.
I just want to unlock all the characters.
Good luck. Did you see how many Kyber bricks there are? Like I'm through like the first 6 episodes and I have like 120 Kyber bricks and there's something like 1,100 of these things. Now granted,
1,116.
Yeah, which like a lot of them are, you get 3 for getting like true Jedi for collecting enough pegs or studs in each level. And then it's like finding there's like 3 secrets to do in each stage.
And the mini kits and all that.
And the mini kits. And then like, even like when you're in space, like every time I was in space, I went and found like an asteroid that I could destroy that would give me a Kyber brick. I just made it my mission to make sure I did that before I took on the level. And then like, even when you're in free space, you can find stolen ships and you have to shoot down the ship because the guy that stole it and then says, sorry, you can have it back. And then you got a new ship in your hangar. I've also read, I don't know if this is true. I'm hoping it's true but apparently or allegedly there is a way to unlock the Death Star
cool.
I don't know how that would work, but
I'm willing to bet it's true because I mean there's probably a Kyber brick hidden in the middle of Alderaan.
Right. Oh yeah, that would be good. So yeah, needless to say, absolutely loving Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Cannot wait to see what they do with the last 3 episodes. And like I said, looking forward to jumping into free play mode.
It'll be fun.
There you have it. Alyssa, you've been playing Cat Cafe Manager, which you got your like an early preview of it when we were not when we were at E3, but when we were attending E3 digitally last summer, and you were just enamored with it, obviously because of your fascination and affiliation with cats. But
that's true.
For everybody that didn't hear that update, can you explain what Cafe Manager is and whether or not you're liking it?
So Cat Cafe Manager, you basically create your own character and you can name your character whatever you want to name them. But you're just going to this world called Caterwall. There are tons of cat puns in this game, by the way. And you're going there because your grandma ran a cat cafe, but she's passed away, so you're taking on the family mantle. So I don't know the right word to use. But you have to build a cat cafe from scratch because there's nothing there. And you start out with a very rinky-dinky little cat cafe. You adopt one cat that roams around the cafe, and you just have to keep this cafe running. You have to buy ingredients to make drinks and food. You'll eventually hire employees. You can adopt more cats, and then you can adopt certain cats and give them to loving homes. So it's all about making your cat cafe bigger and better and rescuing more cats, and it's just a delight. And you get to meet some of the townsfolk, and they become your friends, and they're all different archetypes like vagabonds, punks, witches, artists, and you gain special currencies and things from interacting with them. But it's just such a relaxing game. It's cute. It's stress-free. You're just trying to get to your next goal, which could be get this set of furniture or get more recipes. It's just a really relaxing game, and if you like just kind of like this games like The Sims or something of that nature, you'll definitely like this game, especially if you like cats. Because they're so cute.
Do you have to have any knowledge of cats and cat breeds or anything like that?
No, you don't.
Okay. But it's super relaxing. It's not very difficult or anything like that?
No, it's not very challenging at all. It does take a little bit of time to get used to the controls because the game doesn't tell you, hey, you need to push this to do this, but you quickly learn. I will say That is a little finicky, though, because when you're going to take customers' orders, it just shows a speech bubble above their head and a picture of what they want. But to take their order, you have to stand in just this precise spot and press Y. I'm playing on Switch, and that'll take their order, but it's so finicky that I'm usually like going back and forth a bunch of times trying to find that sweet spot so I could push Y to get their order. So that's one little gripe I have with it. It's just a tad finicky when it comes to taking orders.
That sounds like something that could be easily patched.
Oh yeah, totally.
Don't you hate that in games though? Like when you have to stand like the perfect distance away from something for the prompt to show up.
I'm just trying to get this person their coffee order.
Now, those kind of games typically I see on PC. How does that translate to the Switch?
It translates really, really well. It's super easy to play on the Switch. I played on PC last year, and I think I actually preferred on Switch. But again, that was a early copy. This is the finished product. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, especially if you're playing in handheld mode, this game is just, it looks gorgeous just on the screen. And it's just really easy to play. And even just building your cafe is super simple. You just push the directional button or use your thumbstick to select different tiles to expand. It's very accessible, very easy to play, pick up. You can play it for a few minutes, put it back down. It's just a relaxing game, and it's so cute. Is
there any ending to the game? Can you like beat the game, or is this like an endless, you just keep running it and running it and running it?
I'm not totally sure if there's an actual end. I know there are a certain number of goals you have, but I don't know if you finish all the goals, that's the end of the game, or if you keep playing after that.
I wonder if it'll have like a Harvest Moon style ending where it'll roll credits, but then you can just continue playing.
Like keep going.
It could very well.
Interesting. So that is Cat Cafe Manager. Sounds like you recommend it for people that like relaxing games.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Doesn't sound like it's like super in depth though, like a Stardew Valley or anything like that.
No, nothing of that nature. You're just running a cat cafe, and you can decorate it how you want. You can adopt whichever cats you want. It is a little sad to give them to their forever home because you become attached to these cats, but you know, hopefully they're going to a better home in this Sprite-based universe.
There's not any like euthanasia or anything, is there?
No.
Okay, good.
No kitties pass away in this game or are hurt. They're just playing. You do have to clean up after them sometimes in the cafe, but other than that, they're just delightful. They're happy. They jump in the customers' laps. They make the customers happy. It's just a good time.
Please tell me at some point in time the cat just like sits up on the table and like pushes things off the table.
I haven't witnessed that, no.
That's
but they will
DLC,
chase
right?
each other around the cafe, though.
Nice. Well, thanks for checking that one out, Alyssa. That sounds very adorable. I got one more review for you guys before we move on, and I got a review from Sean, who reviewed a game that sounds a whole lot like Outrun. It's called Slipstream. Let's check it out right now. Well, what's going on, Sean? Long time no see.
I know. It's been, a couple weeks?
Yep, couple weeks, something like that. Well, thanks for stopping by. You seem to be our racing game ambassador. Apparently, you just love racing games a little bit.
Yeah, I've noticed there seems to be a trend going for me, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's you reviewed a game for us called Slipstream, which comes from developer Ansdor, was provided to us by Blitworks. So shout out to Jesus, my contact over there. Appreciate him hooking you up with that copy. Mm-hmm. But man, this has Outrun written all over it. I mean, like down to it almost looks like a clone of Outrun, and I mean that in a good way. Talk to us about Slipstream, though.
It's Outrun. Thanks for having me on. That's it. All right. No, it is indeed actually it's Outrun in a nutshell. You know, another thing I've noticed with these games I've been reviewing is they're all racing games, sure, but they all seem to be homages to great racing franchises of why I got into the genre in the first place. I love Outrun.
Very cool. Cool. So when I think of Outrun, I think of simplistic racing, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. Like there's no shifting, and it's just gas and brake, and that's pretty much it. Is that what's going on with Slipstream?
There's actually a little more to it. There's drifting, and there's also the way you're able to use boost is by getting behind a car in front of you.
Oh, thus the name Slipstream.
Hence the name Slipstream, yeah. And if you hit if you're able to get behind them for a few seconds, a boost gets going. But yeah, the main meat of this game is in Grand Tour mode, which is the outrun mode, where you race through a level and then it splits off. You can choose which way you want to go. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, there's also each section will have a challenger on the road, and then once you enter their area, they'll go. There's a little speech bubble over the car that's in front of you, going, "Aha, a challenger! I see. Show me what you got, my friend." To that effect. Mm-hmm. And then, if you can't seem to beat them, they'll taunt you a little bit, or if you get ahead of them, they'll go, "No, how could you? How dare you?" That kind of thing.
Now, is this actually audio talk?
No,
or
it's just little speech bubbles. Up? It's just just text.
Okay. Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a minute since I played Outrun, but Outrun to me was never a racing game. It was more like get to the checkpoint. Outlast the checkpoints. Is that what's going on with Slipstream, or are you actually like competing? Yeah,
you still have to fight a clock. In addition to, like I said, those the one challengers in each of the courses that you drive through. Mm-hmm. And if you make a mistake, there's also it has a rewind feature like in Forza.
Oh, okay.
Where if you
feels like cheating a little bit, but hey,
kind of, yeah. But it works into the game. Where like if you make a mistake, you can you only rewind like 3 seconds. Gotcha, so if you drift into a wall or something, you can just back up just a little bit and then try again. Nice. And because it really goes all in on the 80s, 90s aesthetic it's going for, when you rewind, it has that VHS effect of like wobbly screen, wobbly picture and whatnot. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so the nostalgia is going here for sure. How does it handle?
Pretty good. It actually feels like a modern arcade game.
Oh, okay.
In a sense, it's very Outrun is very basic gas brake, but like I said, there's the drift mechanic, there's the slipstream mechanic, but it all feels very, very natural, and it feels modern but retro at the same time. If that makes sense.
All right, so you're recommending it?
I do, and there's more than just the Outrun mode. There's time trials, there's circuit modes, there's like a circuit race. There's a whole bunch of other stuff to do, score grab challenges, things like that. So there's more to it than just the Outrun thing.
Gotcha. And you're playing it on Xbox, but I believe it's available on other platforms as well. So, yeah, check out this one. It seems like it's budget priced. I mean, it's an indie title, right? Mm-hmm. So very cool. So check out Slipstream if you're a fan of Outrun. It seems like a no-brainer. Sean, thanks so much for stopping by, man. It's always a pleasure.
Always, man. Thanks.
All right, man. We'll catch you later.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate you taking the time to review that game. Before we move on, I want to remind everybody about our social media outlets, how you can follow us if you'd like to get more information or join the community. First off, facebook.com/groups/thegocast. Also, there's a Discord link in the show for this very episode. You can join there, and lots of great conversations going on over there. Also, if you get a minute, please drop us a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to episodes. Those reviews do help us get the word out about what we're doing, and we would love to hear from you. Also, our website, thegamingoutsider.com. That's where you can find all of our episodes, and you can find all of our written content as well, including Alyssa's review of Maglum Lord and her review of A Memoir Blue, which she played. She talked about that game last week. Sean also did a review for a game called Music Racer Ultimate, and CB's review of The Company Man is available on the site as well, so you will want to be sure to check that out. That sounds like a game I need to play really, really soon.
It's very you.
It's very me?
It's very
sounds
you.
Good. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. It's been an interesting couple of months with the release of insanely difficult games like Elden Ring, but also the release of games like Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. So I thought it seemed a good time to talk about the latter. Easy games are often looked down on as, quote, for kids or not worth my time. But how do you two feel about, games that offer little to no challenge and are just more of an experience? Well, listen, I feel like this is kind of like your bread and butter, and I don't say that disparagingly towards you. You just tend to go towards those games that don't require a lot of dexterity or are more story driven. Is that an accurate assessment?
That is, yeah. I do appreciate a really good story, and I do play a lot of visual novels and some dating simulators. Some of those
you
are
say that like
really
you're
fun.
ashamed of it. Like that's nothing to be ashamed of if you.
Well, when
like
you
what
say
you
it
like.
out loud, sometimes people are a little,
I've got
guilty
no
pleasure.
problem with it. If you like it, you'll like it.
But I mean, I do like a good challenge sometimes in games, but I also appreciate just going into a really excellent narrative that has little to no gameplay and just experiencing the story, figuring out what happens. So I don't think every game needs to have a high level of challenge or any level of challenge for that matter. It just really depends on what the developer's aiming for. Are they trying to tell a really good story, or do they want to combine a story with challenge, or do they just want to challenge the player and make them feel rewarded for finally taking down this really massive boss or overcoming something they thought they were going to be stuck on forever?
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like it. CB, you just finished Elden Ring. Do you want to jump into something a little bit easier after that, or you just want you're good for more punishment?
It's funny because like half the games on my achievement list are easy games.
Well, yeah,
I love them. Dude, there's two right next to your head.
There's two right next to my head. What, Firewatch?
Firewatch and The Walking Dead.
Yep, those were going to be on my list.
So
yeah.
I mean, I have an extensive list. Like we'll
get to your list in a minute, but I just want to hear.
I'm saying I have an extensive list because I love these types of games where it's just something I can like sit down, have an afternoon, or like even a couple hours and just play it, relax, enjoy it. Like even some of like the puzzle games that are out there that are really simple.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adore them, and like every time like I will open up the Xbox store and just like scroll through and be like, ooh, this looks like a little fun 3 to 4 hour romp, and just shut my brain off and enjoy a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there needs to be like it's a very like corner market of like all the games,
mm-hmm.
but I enjoy that it's there. And
right. It's a weird psychology thing too, where we almost feel like as gamers sometimes, and this might be self-proclaimed, but that we have to earn our nerd cred for some reason, which is weird. Like there's a whole gatekeeping thing going on with Elden Ring right now, at least on my Twitter timeline, of people that are like, oh, you're playing that in easy mode if you're a magic caster and stuff like that. You're playing it wrong. I'm sorry. I thought I could play this game whenever I wanted to. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, why do we have this need to like
gamer elitism?
Yeah, and I just don't get that. Like, I've said this so many times in the past, but I've spent so many years of my life begging people to get into games with me, and trying to bring them in and seeing how awesome it is. I don't want to gatekeep them away from it. Enjoy it whatever you want. There was a time in my life where I kind of looked down on people that considered themselves gamers if they played Farmville or, Candy Crush and like that, then called themselves gamers. Like, how, in my younger self, I was like, you're not a gamer. You're just doing something to kill some time. And no, you're a gamer. You're playing a video game that, in those games, Farmville and Candy Crush, and I haven't touched Candy Crush in about a month now. Those games are vastly superior to what we grew up playing in terms of technical fidelity. So how can we say that we're like more elite because we played crappier technology a long time ago? You know what I mean?
I actually think it's more of a systemic problem across all gaming, because when you have things like Xbox versus PC versus Switch versus PC, like people need like I wouldn't say people. I guess there's just a few people out there that really feel that they need to like oppress somebody or something. Yeah,
like part of me wants to say it's the vocal minority, but it doesn't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not people I know personally. Like I don't know anybody personally that is like, this console only and everything else sucks. But like that's just what social media does, and I just don't understand it. I saw a tweet today. Somebody said, for people that are so brand loyal to your console and think everybody else that doesn't subscribe to your specific brand, you crap all over them. Do you even like games? It feels like you just want to start a war or start an argument just because you think your opinion is grander than somebody else's. I don't know. I don't have a problem with easier games. Like it's, and like you said, CB, it's fun to kind of just sit back and chill and not have the challenge and just experience it.
Yeah, turn your brain off.
I mean, we talk about having the experience and doing that, but it's also different from a film. You know what I mean? Where a film, I can just sit back and passively watch it. But even a game that's easy, I'm still having some input, whether it be dialogue choices or whether it be, simple puzzles, things like that. I still feel part of the story, or I feel like I'm more actively engaged than just watching a movie. And I'm not knocking movies. I obviously love movies and television shows. But yeah, enjoy your easy games. Enjoy your easy mode, for that matter. I feel like we've had a whole topic on easy modes and whether or not how we feel about that.
Well, I mean, I love giving you a good ribbing about it just because that's all you ever play.
No, that's not true. I always play on normal. The only time I played on easy mode was I finished Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I did crank that down to easy just because I'm not familiar with. I'm not good at that formula of game and the blocking and the timing. I just could not get down at it, but I really wanted to experience the story. But most of the time, I start at normal. Like, I consider normal to be the way the game was intended to be played. And easy mode is for people that wanted to experience the story, and hard mode is for those that really want to challenge or want to earn some achievements or trophies.
That's a better thing. Let's just get rid of easy, normal, and hard, and just put story, game.
Well, I mean, story kind of alludes that you're just going to watch it.
Well, but no, like, instead of calling it easy mode and normal mode, like story mode. Like, what's the series there? Because there's the one that's like story mode, exploration mode.
Assassin's Creed does that.
Like, that's really all you need. Like, do you want it a little bit easier? You can enjoy the story, or do you just want to like do your own thing?
I think with Assassin's Creed, that's more of like an immersion thing, whether or not you want to have markers, or if you want to find everything organically instead of being pointed in the right direction, which I don't have time for.
Fallout New Vegas. Give me the slider scale. Like, how easy do you want it? There's a
slider scale in that.
Oh yeah. There's a slider scale in it for not hardcore mode, but you can. There's a slider scale for
where you have to like feed your character and give him water and stuff like that, or give him enough rest, otherwise he doesn't function properly.
Sleep, water, and food.
Yep.
And bullets have weight.
Oh, bullets have weight? Because that was the nice thing about Fallout, was like I could carry all this ammo and it did not add to my inventory at all.
When you play in that mode, everything has weight, like even the magazines.
Oh my gosh. I mean, they're heavy. Magazine paper's heavy, man.
Yeah.
What about you, Alyssa? You got anything else to add, or did you cover the bases there?
I think I covered the bases.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoy sitting down and just chilling sometimes. I don't really feel the need to earn nerd cred and play just hard games. If it's a good story, and remember the episode we had where like, what do you prefer, either gameplay mechanics, story or graphics? And I feel like all of us landed on story. Like, that's what's most important to us. I mean, obviously, if a game, if you're not playing a game and it's not fun, then you're not going to want to experience the story. But to me, story is always going to be the thing that I remember the most, unless the mechanics are just really, really awful. You know what I mean? You could play a pixelated game with a great story and still be sold on it. And if it's easy, that's fine. I just want to really experience a good, cool story. So you guys got any specific titles you'd recommend? I know CB said he's got quite an extensive list, but any you recommend that just don't require you to, quote, get good to enjoy?
Ooh. I'd say the Life is Strange series.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm going to say almost anything by Don't Nod.
Don't Nod, Telltale.
Yeah.
Those are the low-hanging fruit, right?
Whales Interactive is another one.
Okay.
That's true, yeah.
because they do
the
all
FMV games,
the live action FMV games.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are fantastic because again they do have a decent amount of replayability. You can sit there and just be like, take the story however you want.
Mm-hmm.
Firewatch
is so good. Just such I know. It almost feels disingenuous for us to talk such praise about that game because of our friendship with Sissy, but it's still. I think we played it before we met her, didn't we?
Yeah, I played it before.
It was cool.
Yeah, before I met her, and it is genuinely one of the best like little stories.
Mm-hmm.
Abzu is another one.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I told you I have a list.
Okay.
The Stanley Parable.
Well, tell everybody what Abzu is really quick, because they may not be familiar with that one.
You are a free diver, just diving through the ocean, following a storyline about an animal and just exploring. It's beautiful. It's well crafted, and it actually teaches you a few things.
Yeah, just a beautifully linear game, which I don't normally get into, especially after my run-in with Journey. But yeah, that's a good one. Keep going.
What Remains of Edith Finch?
That was on my list.
That's really good.
Man, that game.
That is a great story.
It really
and fun
is.
To explore.
And it's so cool because kind of like with It Takes Two, which you need to play, by the way.
I know, I do.
I need to play it as well.
Well, you guys can play together now. You've got
friends.
You guys should totally play that game because it is so good. But with Edith Finch, similarly, it feels like you're never doing the same thing for more than 20 minutes. You're constantly switching to like a completely different game style, and just tragic things happen, and the tone is so melancholy. Not melancholy. That's not the right word, is it?
Yeah.
It just feels so down, but not in a depressing way where it makes you sad. It's just you just feel enveloped in the story, and it's not difficult. It's really good.
Yeah. You'll like this one. Donut County.
Oh my God, Donut
that's
County.
A great game.
That game, I wish the achievements weren't quite as easy to get as they were. Because how like whenever you get a game and you get all 1,000 achievement points, you just don't really feel the need to ever play it again. At least me, that's the curse of achievements. What a satisfying game. It just feels good.
Raccoons, man. Raccoons.
Oh man. That's a good call.
Gone Home. It's another little
Gone Home
story thing. This one's kind of different. Threes.
Okay.
It's a little puzzle game.
I wish I liked that game better.
I love that game because it makes it scratches my brain itch, man.
I have a love-hate relationship with that game because of its odd achievement points.
Yeah, but again, that's the only reason you pretty much hate it is the odd achievement points.
My brain doesn't function correctly with that game. I cannot wrap my head around how to make that game work right. I don't know what it is. Something in my brain does not function properly.
Yeah. I've only got a few more, I promise.
Okay.
This one you may argue with me a little bit on, but Portal.
I don't think Portal's easy.
No, it's not.
I think it is. But here's the thing though, you're looking at it from a point of it's very much a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Because it's not all about timing, it's not all about that. Because once you know how to do it, it's simple. You just have to sit there and look for a bit and just kind of like, how do I solve this puzzle? Because there's not really a lot of timing.
No, it's not difficult from a dexterity point of view, but it's difficult from a puzzle point of view. Like it does a good job of guiding you into it, but I wouldn't call that an easy game.
I would.
Okay. We're not as intellectually superior as you are, man.
Shut up. Frog Fractions.
That's not an easy game.
Shut up. That is once you know your math, man.
No, we had to look stuff up to finish that game, remember? Yeah.
There was like one or two parts of it, but
yeah.
I think over time we would have figured it out.
Probably. We were kind of in a hurry.
Yeah, we were. Hellblade.
Yeah.
It is very simple. Like it's so dark.
I just think that the combat in that game would turn people off because it's not.
There's
good.
not really much. There's like
not, but it's
4
there and
fights
it's not,
in the entire game.
But it's not easy.
Okay, so Slime Rancher.
Never played Slime Rancher.
I haven't either.
Try it.
That was one of the first. Either that was a Games with Gold title, and then it was on Game Pass, I think. And I just never got into it.
Try it.
Okay.
I promise you will be. You'll think of like a 3D Harvest Moon, but with animals.
Now you're selling me. You mean with slime?
So, well, there's but animals with air quotes.
Right.
So, I really enjoy that one. And then Pong.
Pong. There you go.
So, because every now and then I like to play a little bit of Pong. It's simple. It's basic. You don't need to be good to have fun with it. Just you need to have someone fun to play with it. Like that Pong table you and I played at Midwest Gaming Classic.
Like a physical Pong table.
Yeah. Like, dude, we had an absolute blast.
Yep.
Or like a cornhole game.
Cornhole game? There's a cornhole video game?
Yes. There's a cornhole video game and there's an actual physical arcade game.
Well, I've seen the arcade one where you like actually like it's like a rollerball, like a Golden Tee kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does exist and it's simple and fun.
They do exist. All right. Well, you weren't kidding. That was a pretty extensive list. Alyssa, do you have any left that he hasn't mentioned?
Not that I can think of.
You kind of covered all the bases there. I don't.
We knocked out a lot when we're like Telltale Games, Don't Nod, and Wales Interactive. That like there's 40 titles alone.
Right. I mean, walking simulators are an easy one. Monument Valley. That was a game I played on my phone. Was pretty good. Very simple. It was kind of like those. It's art based on Escher, Escher style paintings, with
MC
the
Escher
stairs and stuff. Very simple but satisfying, and the music is super calm and relaxing. I like that a lot. I'm just, like you just like killed my list. The FMV games we talked about. I mean, would you consider Heavy Rain to be easy? Heavy Rain or
it's not overly difficult.
Yeah, if you could get past the voice acting. But those kind of games, those
part of the
Quantic
experience
games. Like what was the other one? The Detroit
Become Human.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are, there's not a lot of dexterity. It's just experience the story. Those are good ones. Boy, yeah, you pretty much killed my list.
But again, like I've played so many of them that like I enjoy these because they are just little bite-sized bits.
I really enjoyed Kirby's Epic Yarn. It was so simple.
It's an adorable game.
It was just so much fun to go through and see what Nintendo put together. I don't even remember if Nintendo developed that one. It's been so long. I would assume so, but just the way that they crafted the world to make everything out of yarn, and just the clever things that they came up with was just a lot of fun. So Canvas Curse wasn't too difficult, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like for people out there, like this is going to sound really weird, but that's one of the things I love about achievement hunting is a lot of these super simple games that are just sit down and enjoy some time are the easy 1,000 achievement point games.
Right, and you're getting the endorphins from actually getting the achievement points instead of the satisfaction of the game sometimes.
Well, it's funny you say it because I actually turned the achievement notification thing off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so half the time
miss that.
I don't even know.
I would too.
Yeah, I love that. I love that little sound, especially if it's in a rare achievement. I love that sound.
Well, I mean, my phone still gives it to me, but if I'm sitting there playing something like like Firewatch. Like, I don't want to break the immersion.
Yeah, I get that with a game like that.
So, or when you're playing something really intensive and all of a sudden, like the bottom half of your screen, you're like distracted and then you die. Especially on a game like Elden Ring.
Or when that thing pops up and it's covering like text that you're trying to read and it's like, okay, go away.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I really want to send a message to Xbox, be like, can we just move that somewhere else?
Like in a corner or something?
Or just like on the side of the screen.
Yeah.
Make it vertical, please.
Something. Yeah. Or like you said, you can set it so that it's just on your phone. That would be like, I feel like that would be an easy fix. Like just to give the player the option to where to put it. You know, like when you do a stream or something, you can choose to put the stream in this corner, or you know, your text box and stuff over here.
I'm honestly surprised that Xbox has never done anything about that. Like, you can have it on or you can have it off.
Yeah.
So,
or just like, I would even like it maybe if it just gave me a notification that you got an achievement with just like a little 2-second thing. But it seems like that thing, I know it's only like 10 seconds, but you know, when you're in the middle of a game, like, go away.
Yeah.
So, well, that was an interesting conversation. You got to hear our thoughts about it. Let's hear what the community said. Alyssa, I'm going to start with you if you don't mind reading off the first Facebook comment there.
Mark Zemansky says, not only do I enjoy titles that aren't difficult, I need those games from time to time.
Hear, hear.
In addition, I commonly set games on the easiest setting. I'm not going to win any awards for my gaming skills, so I am better off playing games to have fun with my limited free time. I've enjoyed the LEGO games. However, the one I recommend here is the one I played very recently, Yoshi's Crafted World. Whimsical, colorful, and a blast to play. The hardest parts were the time stages. Otherwise, it was a cakewalk, but I loved every single minute.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Wait. Hang on. You just said that you liked a game that had timed sections?
I don't remember the time sections. I didn't finish it, but that was when we played up at EXP's Extra Life. We played that for a little bit, remember? It was like right when it came out.
I don't remember much that day.
No?
I was having adult beverages.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's a good one. So, yeah. Mark, thanks so much, and he's not wrong. You know, we don't have as much time, so I'd rather just experience the game and move on instead of trying to beat my head and try to make it difficult.
Yeah.
CB?
All right, Mark Willis. I love the LEGO games. They're the right mix of easy puzzle and platformer. Can't wait for Skywalker Saga. I actually find it funny that we all listed things off and we didn't mention a single LEGO game.
I just assumed it was implied because of the
True.
I mean, Skywalker Saga was the inspiration for this title, to be honest.
So weird side tangent real quick. What is your guys' favorite LEGO game? Outside of Skywalker Saga?
I was gonna say this is gonna be tough to beat. I haven't played a ton of them.
Since I haven't played Skywalker Saga, I'd go with the first LEGO Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, I'm right there on that with you. I really wish my son hadn't deleted my save file.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I had all but 5 characters unlocked.
Oh.
So, and that was a hefty amount too. Like, I think that was over 250 characters.
I haven't even looked to see how many characters are in this one, but
I think it's
at
like
the rate I'm unlocking them, I feel like there's going to be a lot.
And second part to my question, what's your favorite Telltale game?
Well, I didn't get to answer your first question.
Well, fine. Go ahead, answer.
I think I'm going to go with before Skywalker Saga. It was probably the original Star Wars trilogy. Like the first time they did all 3 of the original films, and there was a lot of
the good old Mumble style.
It was great. It was so funny. Although episode 7 was really good too. That one they actually incorporated. That's where they started doing the over the shoulder shooting, which was wasn't there in the other ones, but great games. Telltale game. Boy, I mean, that first season of Walking Dead was so good. I'm not sure if it's because it was the first game in that realm that I played, but I don't know, that Borderlands one is really hard to top.
Fair enough.
That was Finger Guns was just such an epic moment. So funny. So funny.
I really like The Wolf Among Us, and I cannot wait for the second part to come out whenever it's coming out. It was just such a gritty tale, and I hadn't read the Fables comics, I still haven't, but it was just so interesting to see these fairy tale characters we've known and loved for forever in these different roles, and to have this murder mystery mixed in with it as well, so...
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because Alyssa and I agree on both, because The Wolf Among Us is actually, hands down, probably my favorite Telltale game. Followed by season 1 of Walking Dead.
Yes.
Because, dude, Lee. Love Lee so much. That between that and then Clementine, that is one of the best dynamics in like the Telltale games, period.
It's really good. Noe Bushman said on Facebook, I love a bit of both. Some days I like a nice, easy story playthrough, and others I enjoy a punishing grind, lol. So yeah, fair enough. On Discord, Thomas Bex commented in and said, not all games are designed to be challenging. Some games don't use gameplay like that. Visual novels, for instance, are still very much games, but I would not call them challenging. They can be a lot of fun, though. Not every game needs to be Dark Souls. There would be very few gamers left if that is the standard of challenges. I think every gamer should have a level at which they are comfortable to play and are enjoying themselves, because that is the most important thing. Could not agree more. Everyone needs to find their niche, and everyone should be happy that everyone has found their niche and not judge others for playing anything that they're playing. There you go.
Yeah.
Alyssa, you want to go to the next one? Oh boy, I should have asked Thomas how to pronounce it. This is Thomas's co-host on the Adventure Games podcast. Shorsha, I want to say?
If we say your name wrong, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to say Saoirse?
Saoirse? Short? Yeah, one of those two.
Seriously?
Super nice guy.
They say, for me, games are to experience rather than simply beaten. Sometimes it's good to play a challenging game such as Elden Ring, but other times it's nice to play a relaxing game like Lake. The more variety in games, and the more that games can appeal to different people, the better, in my opinion.
That's
good call.
That's another one.
Man, that's one I need to play.
You really do.
Yeah. I need to play it as well.
And I'm so glad Zach turned me onto that game, because it's relaxing, man.
Yeah. And that's on Game Pass. I don't have any excuse.
I know. You have none.
One more, CD. Right.
Nate Wilcox. I love a good challenge, but I really appreciate a good story more than anything else. Most games these days have an easy mode or a story mode, which I think is great. I personally don't use them, but for those that do, I'm glad they get to enjoy the story. It's all about getting enjoyment from the medium, so who cares if you get the enjoyment from getting crushed or being a god? Recommendation for a hard game would be Hollow Knight or The Messenger. Easy games would be SteamWorld Dig. Quick and easy 5 hours.
I love SteamWorld Dig. It's so good.
I think I played it like once on a Wii U.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No.
That's on Xbox, dude. You can play that. That is a satisfying game. That it feels good to pick away at that. That's good. I got one other question for you guys in regards to like easy. I know we had a whole episode on easy modes, but with a game like Elden Ring, that staunchly refuses to have any kind of easy mode or anything like that. I know there's a whole argument about accessibility, which is not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, do you think games like that should have an easy mode, or are they okay standing apart and just being a difficult game?
Well, I mean, it's part of the allure.
That's kind of my mentality. Is the appeal of those games is how difficult they are and seeing if you're up to the task, right?
Yeah,
that's my thoughts as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the story really well, but is the story really in depth and good? Like people are missing out on a fleshed out story. I don't know.
No,
okay.
I will tell you right now. I put 110 hours into that game, and I still have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
Like the story is just so weird and convoluted.
Yeah.
I have it queued up here on my laptop, but somebody actually did a whole breakdown of the story and lore of Elden Ring, because I don't know.
Okay. It's not like people are missing out on this fantastical story that's gonna.
No. And
although Zach did make it sound like there was a lot of side stories that were super interesting.
There is.
Yeah.
Like I want to see how it's all pieced together, but I will say, like, it's From Software. Like, you hear the words From Software, and you're like, I'm going to smash my face into a wall for a few hours today.
Right.
Whereas, like, you hear Whales Interactive, you're like, oh, I'm going to get a weird story. Cool.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, thank you to everybody that wrote in with your responses. We do appreciate it. Next week's topic is still to be determined, so stay tuned to the social media outlets for next week's episode. Looking forward to that already. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. CB and Alyssa, thank you so much for joining me once again. Looking forward to having Zach back next week. But CB, do you got any parting words or recommendations for everybody before we get out of here?
I actually got to sit down and watch a movie for the first time in a while.
Oh, yeah? What'd you watch?
Moonfall.
Oh, man, I heard that was terrible.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
But it is straight up 80s B movie.
I mean, that sounds...
With a high budget. I love B movies. They are not that bad. It's entertaining. And they actually did put... They did drop some science in it, which I appreciated.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's not too often that you get to hear the term Roche limit used. So, if you don't know what it is, look it up. ROCHE. It will break your brain.
All right. Alyssa, how about you?
I really don't have anything to recommend. I just had a busy week, and I have so many things I like that I can't pick just one to recommend. So I'm not gonna throw everything at you. So.
Okay. Well, I have
basket.
I have a huge recommendation that I have been chomping at the bit to talk to you guys about all day. Literally today, I discovered a podcast I'd never heard of before. And I know it's weird, a podcast recommending another podcast, but this is actually video game related. There's a podcast called Strong Songs. It's this guy named Kirk Hamilton that does a podcast all about the mechanics and theory of music. And when I say theory, I don't mean like I have an idea of how this may work. I'm talking about actual music theory, like the mechanics of music. And I had never heard of this podcast until I saw somebody recommend it on Twitter today, because he did an episode where he broke apart and analyzed the music from the Legend of Zelda series. It is about an hour long, and it is one of the most fascinating listens that I've had in a long time. It is, I mean, obviously I'm a little biased because of my affinity for the Legend of Zelda series, but I challenge you guys to check out this podcast, even if you don't consider yourself to be musically inclined. He does go into some pretty deep stuff, like talking about, you know, chords and
tempo changes, things like that.
Tempo changes and just the structure of the music. But what he does is so clever and brilliant is he actually plays the music while he's talking about it, or he plays the piano to say, hey, see how this sounds like this? Now hear this, and you realize how intertwined the Legend of Zelda music is, even amongst different series, in a way that, like, I've learned a couple Easter eggs about Zelda music that I never knew today, and it's utterly a fascinating listen. It's only an hour long. It's the most recent episode. I believe it dropped today. I seriously, it's an episode that I'm going to go back and listen to again. Like, I listened to it and I almost queued it up and listened to it again just because I was so fascinated by it. It's really good. Again, the podcast is called Strong Songs, and look for the episode on the Legend of Zelda themes. Like, I could have listened to another hour of him explaining, like, listen to this chord progression and how he he talks about fifths, because the hero theme in Legend of Zelda, you know, that the first two notes, he analyzes the first two notes of Zelda themes and talks about how it's different from most hero themes, in that hero themes go up, you know, the first two notes, but Legend of Zelda's dun dun, the first two notes go down. And his whole, like, rationale for why that series does that and how it loops and everything, it just gave me such a appreciation for the music from my favorite video game series ever, that I just feel revitalized, and I'm gonna go listen to some soundtracks after listening to that episode. So, highly recommend it. Please listen to it. I want to talk to somebody else about this episode.
Do they only do video games?
No, he does. I perused through it. He has another video game podcast, so he has an affinity for video games, obviously. But he goes, like, I was listening to another episode where he was talking about jazz music, and he even incorporated Metroid into it and the James Bond theme and all that kind of stuff. He talks about tempos. They were talking about the Terminator, the theme song from Terminator. How like the time signature for that is like a 13/9, which is insane. I know. Like I wish you guys could see the look on CB's face right now, but
it just broke my brain. Yeah, I played trumpet for like 6 years throughout school.
Yeah,
and like you just said 13. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's nuts. And
I would love to hear like his thoughts on like Star Wars or like anything John Williams.
It's funny you say that. You should listen to the Legend of Zelda episode I just talked about, because he brings up John Williams on multiple occasions in that episode for comparison's sake. So
this makes me happy.
Yeah. Like this dude knows music. He's a musician himself. And it's so cool because it doesn't sound scripted. It just sounds like he's talking lovingly about how much he loves this and how much the music of that series is so important to the Legend of Zelda. It's like he's saying the things that I've been thinking in my head but wasn't able to express. Like the way that he closes out the show, like the way that he just like he does his little it's only him. There's no other person talking. It's just him monologuing, but the way that he ends the monologue just felt very touching and like, wow, somebody else gets why I love the Legend of Zelda as much as I do. And the music is a huge part of that. So highly, highly recommend that. So great to talk with you guys again, as always. Thank you so much for being here. And thanks to everybody out there for listening. The Gaming Outsider is produced by Nate Lucas. All the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com. STEMAGEMUSIC.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Chris Behrensmeyer and Alyssa White, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.